Yeah, good morning, Caseyville. Brad Van Hoos here. Hey, I just wanted I kind of make these videos based on the direct messages that I get and the questions that people sometimes ask me. And one of the questions was, why do I blame Doug Stewart so much for the what I have called excessive legal bills? To me, $200,000 a year in legal expenses for a village of 4,200 is just insane. You could take Mascoutah, New Athens, Freeburg, Smithton, St. Laborie, two or three other small towns, add all their legal bills up for 1 year and it wouldn't add up to $200,000. And that's what your village was paying. But as much as I blame your village attorney for what I considered excessive billing, sometimes it has to be said, well, maybe your village board wasn't doing its job and he had to do those things. Sometimes that could be a question. But the bottom line really comes back to people like John Buckley and Ron Sandflavin and Matt Madrowski and even Kent Lubers, because they basically signed off on these bills without ever even looking at them hardly, or knowing what they were for or what the village was getting for all of these legal fees. So, it's a two-way street. And I just think I needed to acknowledge that. Really, your current board, I don't really care what they do, or I don't have a whole lot to say except that, voting to keep a treasurer on that cost the village nearly $1 million in the Wells Fargo lawsuit was just crazy to me. To me, when someone makes a mistake like that in the private sector, you just don't have a job. And it's nothing personal. You just can't cost your employer nearly $1 million and then still keep it. It's just life, and it's nothing personal against Tamara Aman. But anyway, what's kind of one of the things it kind of dawned on me that why there was no forensic audit on Doug's legal bills, as Kent Lubers and Dan Carey and even Dave Benson and Nick Beeland, the new board members, they had all promised that once they got into office, they would conduct an internal audit of that legal spending and look at what the village got for all those hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And they didn't do it. And it just dawned on me why. Because those dumbasses, Lubers, Madrowski, John Buckley, Ron Sandflavin, even Dan Carey, nothing against you, Dan, I like you. I think you're a pretty decent guy. But you guys couldn't conduct an audit because you guys are the idiots who just signed the check and moved on. Considering that's the single biggest bill that goes out every month, you would have looked at that a little closer, and you were just derelict in your responsibilities. I hope that comes back to haunt some of you when you're up for re-election. But that's not my concern. But I just wanted to be clear. Maybe it wasn't all Doug Stewart's fault. I guess, it's up to him to send out whatever bill he wants, and the village board, they can decide to pay it or not. And they didn't even look it over. They take their $1,000 a month. They go to two meetings that are actually four meetings that are two. They have to appear twice. They have two meetings at a time. And they make it the easiest $1,000 a month in about an hour, I'd say, for their time. So it's just a real easy job. They just go in, they hold up their hand, they vote yes, and they never even look at what they're spending the money on. So that's on them. But shame on all of you. Like I said, it did dawn on me. The reason they didn't conduct a forensic audit was because they signed off on all that shit. So if you want dumbasses on your village board, that's okay with me. You keep voting them in, okay? But don't cry to anybody when your real estate taxes go up or your fees and services go up or they cut services in the street or water department, okay? That's the downside to it. Every penny you spend on legal bills is a penny you don't have to make the park nicer for you or your streets nicer or, hire enough people to staff the departments, okay? That's all. Anyway, glad the CSX bleeding has stopped, but that's through no fault of this village board. I doubt they even had a say in it or even weighed in. So anyway, thanks a lot. I just wanted to clear that up.